Are you Landfall Games?
Yeah.
Take this. What is this? You've been served, Landfall.
What? What are you talking about?
Let's just say we the players have demands.
These are the demands?
No, I can't do this.
Yes.
No, do it.
No.
Do it. No.
Do it! No!
Yo, what's good everybody? The recent content warning update added some exciting new changes to the game, including a new map, 13 new monsters, and meta progression. However, content warning is in trouble. Player count has dropped tremendously over the past month, and although this is natural, there are some persistent problems that players are getting sick of. On top of that, Landfall, the small indie studio responsible for developing content warning, already has another new game in the works that they announced months before content warnings release. Though they haven't said anything to this effect yet, this could affect future updates for content warning in a negative way. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my top 10 future hopes and changes that I hope come to content warning. Number 1, quality of life. There's a couple of quality of life changes I think could be made to the game, giving us the ability to make private lobbies public or vice versa. There's a huge issue with people getting hacked currently in the game. I see tons of messages from people in the content warning Discord talking about, I've been hacked, somebody help me. This person gave me 1,000,000 meta credits. Although this isn't a problem if you are in your own friend lobby, some of us don't have other friends to play with, and nobody wants to play with a hacker either. So giving us that flexibility would be really, really nice. Yo, as I'm editing, Landfall releases this tweet saying that you can finally kick players when hosting a game, telling us thank you for your patience as we implement more hosting features. Big W from Landfall. Back to the video. Also, please give us a way to change or cancel sponsorships. Sponsorships were a new feature that were added in the most recent update, and currently you can only accept one sponsorship per run. This means once you complete a sponsorship, you're not going to be able to accept another one until you eventually fail a quota. Also, I think giving us a way to cancel sponsorships would be great. There's been times where I've accidentally chosen the wrong sponsorship. I don't think that we should have the ability to just cancel whenever we want. I think that we should have the ability to cancel up until we start a dive. Number 2, dive bell utility. There's so many different directions that I think Landfall could take with this. Some of the things I came up with would be monster repellent, perhaps something that sprays off the top of the dive bell and goes all over the place and helps keep the monsters away. Also a ping locator. This would be similar to the camera locator mod if you've ever seen that. But every 10 to 15 seconds, you would hear a ping coming from the dive bell, and that would tell you which direction you need to go to get back to the dive bell. This would be really nice, especially since there is no mini-map when you're playing a game. And if you're anything like me where you have a terrible memory, it's hard to keep up with where you are when you're out in the old world, so this would be a really nice change. Also a camera charge station. Don't have to charge it up too much, but just give you that little bit of juice when you need it. Similar, an O2 refill station would be nice, just so we can get that little bit of time to get that spooky content. Number 3 would be more island upgrades. I think the ones that they added with the recent update were really cool. The podcast booth is definitely my favorite, but I'd like to see them expand the island. Maybe add some more shops, kind of like Phil's hat shop where it's just hanging off the side of the island. Maybe some house RGB, or even cooler yet, a whole SpookTube studio. Your very own building where you can customize the inside so you can cater your content to your spooky audience. Number 4, more camera features. I think the camera as it stands now is pretty bare bones and there's not really much to it. And I think this is what makes people want to play content warning, is going back and watching the videos that they capture with their friends to give us more options and flexibility with the camera. I'm talking things like a tripod, especially for any solo players out there. That would be really nice. Or maybe like a video timer. I'd also love for them to have extended film. This would be going along the lines of the camera charging station from the dive bell. But we want to shoot more content, Landfall. Let us do it! Maybe let us upload clips straight from content warning to our favorite social platform. This is highly unlikely to happen, but maybe for our friends who don't have the same kind of access to resources, I also want them to give us filters and night vision, UV, heat sensors. This would be really cool stuff to see in one of our SpookTube videos. They could also add action cams or spy cams, maybe even a baby monitor. I think action cams would be really cool, especially since that would give us access to our hands. You can't use a shock stick or flashlight at the same time when you're recording, but I want to capture my moments of me shocking the crap out of a snail man. I would love for them to add some weapons that are not required to be charged. Maybe something like a baseball bat or a golf club, a crowbar. Maybe they'll add a durability meter so that you can't just use it forever and ever, although that's kind of the point of it being non-charged. I'd also like for them to add more emotes, but specifically I want emotes that we don't have to buy from the item shop. I find it really annoying that we have to go to the item shop and buy it every time we want to use an emote, at least give us a thumbs up or a fist bump or something for free. Would also love the ability to buy sponsored items with your meta coins. Some of those sponsored items are really cool, like the Nerf gun is my absolute favorite. I want to be able to take that thing and shoot some monsters in the face with my Nerf gun. I'd also like for them to add a walkie-talkie. That way we can still keep up with our friends even if we are halfway across the map. Number 6, some new maps. I think there are some really cool maps that they can go with. But 2 things specifically that I think would work great in content warning would be a schoolhouse and a graveyard. The schoolhouse would be perfect because what's scarier than school? Am I right? I think a schoolhouse matches the vibe of this game perfectly. And same thing with the graveyard. This leads us into number 7, new monsters. I would love to see some map specific monsters. Like for the schoolhouse, they can have the principal or the lunch lady. And the lunch lady will throw trays of moldy food at you. For the graveyard, obviously give us a skeleton. I would love to see like a combination monster of all the different bones you see out in the overworld. They could also add a spotlight monster where when it shines its spotlight on you, it blares an alarm and alerts nearby monsters to your location. That would actually be freaking sick. Number 8, character changes. There's a lot of mods that do some of this, but unfortunately mods don't always work. So I would like to see them add more colors. Perhaps face presets so we don't have to keep typing out our own. I also think it would be cool for them to give us the ability to go prone. I feel like the crouch isn't sneaky enough. I never feel low enough to the ground. Number 9, a couple of unrealistic changes, but still cool nonetheless. Video editing. We have that crazy 3-monitor setup in our house for a reason. Let us use it. Who knows what kind of power there is behind that thing? And I think any way that Landfall can give us to boost the views on our content, because these quotas do get pretty unreachable after a while, would always be a good thing. And finally, number 10, community ideas. These were not my own. I went to the content warning Discord where I saw some really awesome ideas and I just had to share them with you guys. First up is a monster idea called the vending machine. Vending machine that can be used by pressing button. It can give you random item or cursed items, but with 50%, it will start walking and attack players. I think that's a really fun idea. Instead of getting it to 50%, I would like that to be random because I don't think we'll get to see it in action that much if we just never let it get to 50%, or maybe give it a 50% chance to start attacking you whenever you use it. I think that would be even better. Next, we have this one, which says make a optional option to remove the grass and the leaves from the trees as a way to reduce lag on low-end devices and boost performance and FPS. It'd be a useful option for low-end devices. I love how inclusive this person is trying to be. And I think there's a better way of reducing lag and boosting performance for this game than taking out the greenery. One of the biggest things that makes content warning stand out, at least in my opinion, is the contrast between the bright, saturated colors of your sky island and then the dark, pitch black, desaturated look of the old world. I think the green especially is what makes that contrast pop so much. So I think instead of getting rid of it, just reduce it a little bit. Next, we have a very spooky suggestion, but better. A marker priced at around $100. Very useful for backtracking in case you get lost. Marker trails can get distorted by monsters stepping on it. Marker trails could also be randomly generated by streamer mimic as a trap. Markers in general, I think, are a fantastic idea. Again, because we don't have a mini-map for us in the game, giving us an item that helps do that for us would be a massive W for content warning. And I think this would be a really awesome way to do that as well. This one says, Sky Islands need a basement level where I can keep all the creatures I lure back into the diving bell. And the only thing I can say to that is I absolutely agree and am terrified of you at the same time. This one seems kind of obvious, but it really isn't. Apparently, most mods that increase player count are not working anymore due to the servers being overloaded. So unfortunately, I cannot rely on mods. I came back here again to beg for the base game to support the ability to have more than 4 players. Please do something to make the game playable for larger friend groups. As someone who does have a friend group larger than 4 people who is interested in this game, I can 100% agree with what this person is saying. There have been plenty of times where the mods do cause issues in game, where something doesn't load properly. Maybe the video extraction machine isn't working. Someone can't load into the game for some reason. It does happen, and it's very common. Because this goes back to the performance thing. Not everybody has a computer capable of running mods, or perhaps they don't have the storage on their computer to make it happen. But that was all I had for you today. Thank you very much for watching. What are some things you want to see in future content warning updates? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, y'all take care of yourselves. Be easy, stay positive, and I'll catch you guys on the flip.